It's a rough life. Living up to Lassie, it's a rough life. Trying to be so classy when I'm going through the garbage for a midday snack. Knowing I'm in trouble when the folks get back. It's a rough life. When fleas live on your belly, it's a rough life. When people call you smelly, I'm developing a complex. I might need a shrink. They blame me every time that something starts to stink. It's a rough life. Begging for a cookie is a rough life. Never getting nookie. They chase me from the kitchen when I start to beg. They think that I'm perverted when I hug their leg.
Well, this is how I met Peter.
Peter, what's that name?
Peter Szekeres.
Szekeres.
Peter Szekeres. He was a producer. He was he had produced one of the first psychedelic records with a group called the Balloon Farm.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Well,
Ed, have you ever heard of the Balloon Farm?
Question of temperature.
Yes.
See? Ed, he knows everything.
Question of temperature. That's
what
amazing.
Was that?
You know that. Who are you?
That's Ed Solomon. He's like an expert on stuff.
Wow. It's a question of temperature. He also produced the Marshmallows. There was a group called the Marshmallows, CBS. And anyway, he was doing production, and he worked at Hugo and Luigi had just hired him to run their production company because they were busy writing a Broadway musical.
Mr. Wonderful?
I don't know what the musical was, but they had written songs, Fools Rush In, you know, and then they opened this publishing company. Well, I wandered into the thinking I was going to an acting audition for Dark of the Moon. When I got to the building, I realized I didn't have the office number, and there were hundreds and hundreds of offices, and the secretary at Hugo and Louis, the doorman who had, I guess it would be analyzed as Tourette's syndrome, like he would say, "And how do you do, you motherfucker?" And I was watching him for a while before I walked up to him and said, "Do you know where they're auditioning for Dark of the Moon?" And he looked at me and said, "No, but they're always doing weird things up in 511. Why don't you go there?" And so I did, and that was Hugo and Luigi, and so that was how, I mean.
And that's how you met your husband?
Yes, through Hugo and Luigi. They said, "Well, we don't know." I said, "I'm not here. I don't know what a music publisher is, but I'm going to miss my acting audition if I don't get to this place." So Joyce, the secretary, helped me find where they were putting on this, having this audition. I ran to audition for that, and I knew I got the part because they had me reading with lots of different people, and they kept me for hours and hours. And so I ran back to Joyce and thanked her, and that's when Hugo and Luigi came in, and they thought I must be there to show them songs because I had a guitar, you know, and that was pretty unusual. You know, girls didn't walk around with guitars.
So what song did you show them when you played something?
I showed them a song I had just written that never came out, ever.
Oh, really? What was the name of it?
Hey You People.
Hey You People? And did they like it, or they liked your voice?
Well, they kind of, they had this, I mean, they had the ultimate inner sanctum office. You go to the outside, it was industry green and with filing cabinets, and Joyce, the secretary, and you know, papers, and I didn't know what a music publisher was, but when I went into their office, it was gilt, gold, thick carpets, Louis XIV matching desks facing each other, and I sat there and sang, and they're looking back and forth at each other, and I could tell that they thought it was weird, but they said, you know, we just hired this producer, Peter Szekeres, and we'll let him hear you. And so I went back, and he heard my songs and was smitten.
Smitten with you or the songs?
I don't know. I had never been smitten before, so it was, you know, who knew?
So you started recording with him?
Yeah.
So how did you get this record,
Well,
first record
they
deal?
signed me. Hugo and Luigi signed me,
Right.
and so I was, you know, part of their catalog, and Peter traded the Balloon Farm, which was bubbling under, you know, top 40, bubbling
Right.
under. You remember Bubbling Under? So he had a Bubbling Under record, and he got me out of my contract with Hugo and Luigi for the Balloon Farm, Bubbling Under. And then we went to CBS. Peter booked this full-out session. I think he had it under the marshmallows, you know.
What did you record?
Beautiful People.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you had that song already then?
Yeah.
Beautiful people, you live in the same world as I do, but somehow I never noticed you before today. I'm ashamed to say, beautiful people, we share the same back door, and it isn't right. We never met before, but then we may never meet again. If I weren't afraid you'd laugh at me, I would run and take all your hands, and I'll gather everyone together for a day. And when we're gathered, I'll pass buttons out that say, beautiful people. And then you never have to be alone, 'cause there'll always be someone with the same button on as you. Include him in everything you do. Beautiful people, you ride the same subway as I do every morning. That's gotta tell you something. We got so much in common. I go the same direction that you do. So if you take care of me, maybe I'll take care of you. Beautiful people, you look like friends of mine, and it's about time that someone said it here and now. I make a vow that sometime, somehow, I'll have a meeting, invite everyone you know. I'll pass out buttons for the ones who come to show. Beautiful people never have to be alone, 'cause there'll always be someone with the same button on as you. Include him in everything you do. He may be sitting right next to you. He may be a beautiful people too. And if you take care of him, well, maybe he'll take care of you. 'Cause all of the beautiful people do. And I'm some are beautiful people too.
I wrote that when I was in the Blackout in New York. Remember the Blackout?
Yeah,
The big Blackout?
1965 or
I
something?
was in an apartment, and that fabulous thing that happens to people, you know, that connectedness that happens when people share a tragedy.
I was just going, I can't watch TV. That's maybe that's
I
what it meant.
know. We were helping people, and there was an old lady who was scared, and we were getting candles to people, and it was just this great feeling. It was magic, you know, when something so out of the ordinary happens and in a big city like New York.
And that's where it came from, the Blackout.
Well, that was the beginnings of it. The clincher was I had taken a bus, and there was a man, you know, one of those people who talk to the air, you know, just ranting on and on.
Now you see them all the time because they're talking on their cell phones, you know,
Yeah,
just
right.
walking around. You used to think it was crazy
Exactly.
people, but now you see them.
I know. The first time that happened, I thought, that man's talking to himself.
Right.
But it's really amazing.
All right, so yours is a Beautiful People song, Beautiful People.
Yeah, so he was making everybody on the bus laugh, and I thought this beautiful, you know, connection that we were all having, and it brought it all back with the Blackout, and there was something happening in the time.
Did you have the whole song done the way it is now, with the same button on as you, and you must be
Yeah.
a beautiful people too?
Yeah.
Well, as it's a beautiful person too, beautiful people
People,
too.
yeah,
Right.
beautiful people.
Right. You had it all done. So that was your first song that you recorded.
Yeah.
Anything
Peter
else that you recorded?
pretended, I mean, sort of booked it as, you know, a session.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, somebody else. And we had a full-out string section, and he wouldn't let me have a vocal booth. He wouldn't let me be in the vocal booth. I had to be right in with the musicians, and Peter was a very feel, you know, the feel thing, and had to be the right feel, and with you know a session with string players and everything.
So did you have just recorded that one song, or you have any
No,
other
I
songs?
think we did that and Garden in the City.
Garden in the City?
Yeah,
That came out way later though, didn't it?
yeah.
Oh, is that the one that recorded that time? The same one you put on the Garden in the City album?
No, we record.
What about, you know, I've always had this question about the song, I really loved Harold, I really loved Tom.
Yeah.
Was there really an Alfie? Did you make that up because it sounded good?
You know, that's a good question. I just made it up because it sounded good.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew an Alfie.
Because it
I
felt
heard
like
that.
you
I
did
think
know
there was
an Alfie.
a movie.
Yeah, well, Alfie.
What's it all about? Oh, that was the movie. Yeah, what's it all about, Alfie?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think it was just a good name.
Well, I don't know when I bought this album, but I bought it. I think I saw it on TV somewhere.
I think Ralphie was first, but then I thought Ralphie was,
Ralphie, like Ralphie Boy?
yeah.
This has Animal Crackers on it, Christopher Robin, Close to It All. Bobo's Party, that was a big one for you. Bo, 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 whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
that.
How'd you come up with that one?
I don't know. Totally, just a bunch of imagination.
Oh, okay. So any of these real? I mean, about real life things besides beautiful people?
I mean, you know, there's always a seed of something that happens to you, but definitely I make up everything.
Really? Let's go to the next one here. This is the actual Beautiful People album, right? There we go. See, I have all these albums. See, I was a fan.
You know where that photo was taken? In Nashville.
Really?
Yeah.
That long ago? Where in
Yeah.
Nashville?
Yeah, it was, yeah, you're right. It was a whole different Nashville. That was, you know,
Who is this girl?
Nashville in the 60s.
Who is this girl? She's hot. Okay. Anyway, Johnny Boy. Baby guitar. What's the baby guitar story?
The baby guitar story. I
Gave
don't know.
birth to
You
a
know,
baby
I was
guitar?
at some point. I think it was I was, again, I didn't really, I don't know why, but I was in the music business, and I really wanted to be something else. You know, I wanted to be, I didn't have a chance to really decide what I wanted to put, and follow it through. And Peter, you know,
Well, your
was
music
this
is very hard.
powerful, charismatic person who he saw this thing that was going to become Melanie, and that's what he promoted, and
But
that's
when
what
we were
happened.
on, I mean, during these albums, you were on TV sometime, because I bought these because I saw you on TV. I don't remember what, was Ed Sullivan or something?
I did, yeah, there weren't very many TV shows where a person who did music in the genre that I did would be on. You know, there wasn't, there weren't Saturday Night Lives, there weren't,
But did you do Ed Sullivan?
yes,
Okay, that must have been where I saw you. You do the Smothers Brothers show?
no.
No, okay.
I was a New Yorker, and you know, I always felt so uncomfortable at doing things in LA.
Yeah, when I told you, I saw you on the Johnny Carson show.
Yeah, that
Because
was
I
a
didn't
New York
see,
show at
I don't
that point.
remember the Johnny Carson show, but I saw it on YouTube. And you were very silent, and you were very,
I was terrified. I had never, you know, done a national television show before, and you know, it took weeks to decide what I was going to wear, and I hadn't quite settled on what felt like me, you know, yet. And again, I felt like I was being pushed into this whirlwind of high visibility that I wasn't sure I wanted to be in at all.
I'm trying to remember what songs you sang on that. Well, all I remember is he talked about your blue dress or something. Do you?
I had
don't
a
know.
blue jumpsuit. I think I was really crazy.
I don't know.
I
Anyway,
mean,
you
it was
also did the Johnny Cash show.
Yes, yes.
And that's
I
and
met
on your new
twice,
album,
twice.
right? And you
Yeah.
did Silver Threads and Golden Needles
Yeah,
with
with
him, right?
Yeah.
And then you had on your new album, you have a song about Johnny Cash,
Yeah, Working Legend.
right?
Actually,
You also have a song about the Nashville flood.
yes.
Some Ordinary
I love
Rain
that
called.
song. I know. I wish right now everybody go and listen to that song. It's so.
You know what my favorite song on your album is?
No.
Guess. It's not those two.
Is it the new album?
My favorite song on your new album, which I listened to 4 times already. It's the one with the.
Angel?
I could have died young.
Oh, I tried to die young.
Right. That's my
Yeah.
favorite one. I like the line about the whirlpool, and you get stuck in the whirlpool, just spinning around.
Till
That's
I
good.
learned how to swim.
Till you learned how to swim, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love a lot
And
of.
my friend George Worsback played the piano on that.
Yes, Bo. Bo.
You know George Worsback, Bo? Yeah. He's playing with his phone back there. Everybody plays with their phone.
No, he's not. I think he's sleeping.
He's sleeping?
No, he's been working real hard.
All right, let's
But,
go. Let's go to the next one. We got this. Which one came out next?
Oh, I don't. That.
The
no.
Lay Down one?
Yeah. No. Yes. Lay down.
Lay Down. Okay, this is. This came out. You played at Woodstock. What happened? Tell me about the
Was it
Woodstock
next?
thing.
I really can't tell you for sure.
That's
if that
okay.
was
Tell me
next.
about your experience at Woodstock. How did you get invited to it, and what was it like playing there?
We were just at the Johnny Carson show. I was just trying to get my Johnny Carson thoughts together.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm going too fast.
you're going too fast.
That's just us New Yorkers are like that. You know, we're going too fast.
Okay.
You want to go back to the Johnny Carson show?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. That's a very New York thing, you know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So, yeah, that's probably a dead giveaway, right? They're right there. But,
Go ahead. Tell me about
go
New
ahead.
York.
My parents didn't have New York accents, and I didn't have a New York accent. But when I first came out, people thought, well, Neil Bogart said I was a Jewish girl from Brooklyn. In England, they thought I was from France. In France, they thought I was from England. And I was skirting the issue. I didn't want to be pinned down, so.
But what are you? I don't know.
I'm a hippie Muslim.
A hippie Muslim? That's what I am.
I go as a hippie Muslim.
I'm a black Muslim.
I,
So tell me about Woodstock. What was it like
that's-
playing at Woodstock? And oh, you knocked the mic
I
over?
knocked
That's
the
okay.
mic.
Uh-oh, Mike's knocked over.
Well, it was absolutely terrifying. I wasn't, I was a buzz in the industry, but I wasn't it yet. And again, I was having all this inner angst about what I really wanted to be and why was I becoming this celebrity person that I didn't want to be. And I knew the people who were organizing Woodstock were in the same office building as Peter. And Peter had an office in the 1650 Broadway. And so we were meeting these Artie Ripp and Artie Kornfeld and Mike Lang. They were all in that same office building. And we'd run into them all the time. Anyway, through just a series of, oh, gee, that sounds nice. 3 days of peace and love. Maybe I could be in it. And it's like arts and crafts, and I'll do some shopping. No, I mean, no clue. Anyway, my career took a little bit of a turn, and someone contacted me to do a film score in England. So I went to England and started writing music for a movie called All the Right Noises with Tom Bell and Elizabeth Hussey, I think.
No, she's too young for that.
No, she was,
Elizabeth Hussey.
yeah.
Well, anyway, what?
She was in Romeo and Juliet after.
Oh, that Hussey. Yeah,
Yeah.
Olivia Hussey.
Olivia, sorry. Who's
Right.
Elizabeth Hussey?
She's the one on The Young English Girl. It's not so young
Oh,
anymore.
okay. So I don't know. Anyway, so Olivia Hussey, yes.
Right.
I knew something was
I'm
wrong.
like a wealth of information.
I'm not.
Okay.
So I went and did this film score, and then it was time for Woodstock, and I thought, oh, Peter, should I go back? And well, I don't know. Maybe we were in the studio with the the Philharmonic, in London, and Mick Jagger was in the studio next to us, and it was all big stuff, and I thought, well, this isn't so bad, I'm kind of behind the scenes doing stuff, music, and I love to do music, but at least people aren't looking at me, so I thought this might be a good thing to do, and but something was just, that voice that says, you really have to go and do this. So I listened to my voice, and I went to do Woodstock. My mom picked me up at the airport, and next day we drove up, me and my mom and my guitar. Like, we're going to go.
So you went with your mom to
Yeah.
Woodstock?
Yeah, we were driving up, she's taking me up, and I didn't drive.
You still don't drive?
I still don't drive. I have a license, though. When my kids started getting their license, I thought, this was ridiculous. I have to have my license. So I went and I did a driver's thing, and I passed the test, and I have a license. I have a very pretty license picture. I'm very proud of this.
That's all right. We'll show it
I'll
show it later.
show it later.
We'll show it after you.
Oh.
So remember to get the license picture.
Oh, my license picture. Find my license picture.
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
So,
So tell me about the
so Woodstock.
right.
So I'm.
Nobody likes their license picture.
No, but I have a good one.
You like the license
I have
picture?
my license picture.
Okay.
Anyways, but I don't drive. My mom took me to Woodstock. We hit some traffic,
A little bit.
a little traffic, and I thought, what is going on? And of course, no cell phones, so I find a phone somewhere, and I called somebody, and they said, no, don't go to that place. Go to this other place. And oh, okay. And as we were getting there, I could tell this is traffic more and more. What is going on? Does this have something to do with Woodstock? And so it did. It had everything to do with it. And I just decided I would rather not do this. If we could maybe just go home, and I couldn't. And Peter said, no, you have to do it. And it's big. It's very, very big. And I realized how big it was. as moments passed, I went to this hotel where we were all supposed to meet, and this man said, "Oh, Melanie, yeah, okay, go over in the helicopter." And while I'm in this hotel lobby, there's Janis Joplin and Sly Stone walked by, and there's media trucks, and Janis Joplin is surrounded by a group of media, you know, filming her slugging her Southern Comfort. And Janis Joplin was a mega superstar, you know. I wasn't. I didn't think that's what I was. I mean, I didn't even hope to be. I thought there's got to be a way out, and just when I thought there was a way out, they got me and said, "Go, the helicopter's
You
over
went in a
there."
helicopter?
Yeah.
First time you ever been in a helicopter?
Very first time. And my mother is with me, and we're walking toward the helicopter, and as we're about to get in, the man said, "Who's she?" As my mother. And oh, no mothers.
No mothers?
No mothers, just bands and managers. I didn't have the savvy to say, "Oh, yeah, she's my bass player," you know. I mean, you know, nothing came
But they
up.
let her on eventually.
No.
No?
No, I
No
said
mothers?
goodbye to my mother.
Really?
Yeah, I
No
mean,
mothers?
No mothers.
What kind of places? I used to thought Woodstock was a great love, peace, and love and
Yeah,
stuff.
well, no mothers.
No mothers.
No, I mean, she could fend her way in and find her way, but they weren't going to deliver her by
I
helicopter.
should have wrote a song called "Look What They Done to My Ma." Ma, something. Anyway, forget it.
So anyway.
So you got there, you landed at Woodstock, and
Landed at Woodstock. I mean, I looked down as we were flying over. It looked like some bizarre crop, you know.
But there were people.
They were people.
So did you hear anybody else play there, or you just got there for your show and then you left?
Oh, man, I got in. I was ushered to a little tent, but I wasn't given like an artist's backstage pass. Now, I was in the, I guess, the upper echelon had a big tent, and there was refreshments and I suppose porta potties and things. My tent was an dirt floor with a box. And that's where I spent all of the day, in this little tent.
Can you hear the music?
Absolute terror. Yes, I could hear the music. I could hear people. But the thought that kept running through my head was, I'm going to be killed here. This is
Killed
where,
here?
Yes, of course they're going to stone me. I'm a person with a guitar, you know. I mean, I'm a person with a guitar. I didn't smoke grass or anything, so there was nothing. I was absolutely, completely straight.
So you played your songs, and then what happened?
Wait,
not done yet?
I spent an
Sorry.
entire day.
In the tent, thinking you were going to die.
I got
Okay.
there when Richie Havens went on, and he was singing "Freedom" for all his life. You know, freedom, freedom. Oh, please, God, let me off here. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And I could tell, you know, he was